What is up, guys? It's Bankrupt Dope, back with another video, and today we are back on Star Rail. And today I want to go ahead and be talking about Kafka today, and just how I think she could have been different. So now Kafka's good. Kafka's great. She does a lot of damage. She can get you through the content, and there's actually nothing wrong with her. But I think that the kit we have for her is not who she is. So I'm gonna go over a kit that I think would have been far better and way more interesting, the truth be told, because triggering DOT just isn't that interesting. It's fun, it works, but it's fun to see things explode, but it's not the most interesting. And I feel like somebody else could have taken that role as making things explode from DOT. Somebody else could have done that. I think Kafka could have had a very different and more interesting role, in my opinion. So to break it down, you can see it in the video playing. Her skill activates the DOTs that are currently applied on the enemy, and that's fine. But what I think it should have done to fit Kafka, because you'll see after this, you will see the gameplay trailer playing in the background, like the cinematic trailer, and you can see what she does. You can even playing against her. She is a manipulator. She controls people, but yet we don't do that at all here. We manipulate, but we manipulate ourselves. We manipulate our own teammates, and not even in our teammates. We manipulate their damage. And that's not Kafka. No. That's not who she is. Kafka wants to manipulate a person fully. That's what she wants to do. For some reason, she doesn't do that in this game. So, what I think our skill should have done. So you're subtracting the activation of damage over time. You're subtracting that from a passive, right? What it should have been instead, in my opinion, is, so keep the same effect of like attacking adjacent enemies and all that, but take out the activating DOT and put in the enemy attacked by this move has a blank % chance to be manipulated and or ensnared by this attack, and the enemies adjacent have a 10% or whatever number you want % chance to also be ensnared and manipulated. Now, before somebody says, oh wow, manipulation is crazy, I think it works because that's who Kafka is. You can see in this trailer, that's who she is. So if we wanted to balance it out, right? So for the grunts, I think like anybody that's not an elite or boss should be fully ensnared, and when their turn comes up, they should become blue enemies and go for our team and attack each other. If it's just one person on the screen, they just skip a turn. They don't do anything, no action. But if it's blue enemies, if they're regular face enemies, I think that they should attack each other, truth be told. And if it's elite and or boss, if you want to balance it out and you say it'd be too strong to have them attack each other, you can either still have them attack each other and just reduce the damage that they deal if it's an elite or boss, or simply the same thing, the boss will act but will not attack. So they come up on the action bar, they have their turn, but you get like a sign over their head that says manipulation, and they simply don't do anything. But they still, that way, if you want to run Kafka on a DOT team, you can still have all the DOT effects up. But guess what? The person acts and they do nothing. You see what I mean? You can even run this with the team with like Welt, for example, and just have a enemy that never truly acts. So even when they do act, they still don't act. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm just talking here. These are just ideas. So I think that's something you could do to balance it out if you want to say that it'd be too strong if the bosses and elites got manipulated. So that's just one way to kind of counterbalance that out. Now, when you talk about the ultimate essentially honestly reads the same as the skill. You do shock damage, you prop the DOTs. Once again, we're taking out the DOT effect, taking that, stripping it right out, gone. And once again, but this one affects the whole field, so there is no like 10% chance. It's whatever percentage multiplier you want, and if there's 5 enemies on the field, they all have an equal chance of being affected. So a % chance to manipulate all enemies on the field and still do the shot damage. So the shot damage, they still take the damage. But say you don't kill and they live, you have a percentage chance to manipulate all enemies on the field. And that's it. Simple as that. And it reads the same effect as before. And maybe you extend the duration. So maybe the skill only ensnares for 1 turn. So you get 1 turn of a free action. But ult gives you 2 turns of them being ensnared. So same thing, you ensnare the whole lobby of enemies. They're all attacking each other, minus the elite bosses. But when his turn comes, they just stand there and they completely miss a turn. Like, they don't miss a turn, but they don't act. Then next round comes back. If they're all alive again through all your skills and everything, guess what? They continue attacking each other. And the boss goes one more time. But once again, he doesn't actually act, but he goes, but he doesn't do anything. And then after that, your ult is essentially over at this point. Now, obviously, you could say, oh, well, if you use your skill again, wouldn't it just be increasing it? Well, if they want to balance it and they don't want it to be like, well, if they want to not have it be like, well, then it will say this effect cannot stack or something like that. So you trying to extend it with her skill won't extend the duration, and it will end at 2 turns. You have to reapply it once the person is out of the status effect. Could be what they want to do if they wanted to balance it, and if they wanted to have it that way, if you want to talk about balance. But y'all be honest with me. That sounds more like what Kafka should be doing than what she does do now. You saw the trailer. We all saw the trailer. We even the cinematic trailer when she's on trial and everything, and they're talking about all the crimes she's committed. All those crimes that she committed with the Server Hunter, some of them were like, you just straight up manipulated people into mass genocide. Like, come on, that's crazy. That is crazy. But she didn't manipulate no DLT effects into mass. No, she straight up made people murder each other. That's what Kafka should have been doing. And I think that MiHoYo, either for the lack of, they just felt like they didn't have to do all that, and they said they'll take it anyway because it's Kafka. Now, I'm not a balancer. I don't make games. But I know that MiHoYo is a good and creative company. And I know they could do something like that if they wanted to. So I will be so honest as to how I feel why we don't have that kind of kit. I feel like we don't have that kit because they know, as a community, we truthfully will accept whatever they give us if it's flashy and pretty enough. And Kafka, like I said, as a character, is flashy and pretty enough, so you kind of forget what she should be doing. And that's my only thing. So, like, I really do hope as we keep going into the future, they start tying these characters' kits to who they actually are. Because Genuine, if you watch that video, I've already went over how I think Genuine could have been better and what I think he could have done to make him far more relevant than what he is. And that could have really separated him and Kafka a lot more than from how they are now. Rather than just lightning damage dealers. Because they're more than lightning damage dealers. What's the point of having this well written out story and such a great story and all these cinematics if the characters don't even represent who they are in the story and in these trailers? I don't see the point in that. Because, like, yeah, Genuine has his lightning lord, but he doesn't really do the things that he does in the trailer. In the trailers, he is a lightning lord who stops the Mara. Like he kills them. They don't revive. He ends them. So I think he should have done that. And same for Kafka. Kafka ensnares people. She takes over their minds. She doesn't manipulate DLT. I mean, sure, that's cool to have, but I think she should have been ensnaring people. That's what she does. That's who she is. She literally does it to us in that game. But yet we have zero functionality as players. And that's just the classic, you know, like when you're fighting the boss versus when you get them kind of thing. But like they did that in kind of all aspects. Like I said, like, she's still a good character. She's still a good character. There's nothing to say that she isn't. I think she's a great character. But I just think they could have made her more interesting by doing that. And that's just my thought. You know, it's just a thought. We're just talking here. I'm just thinking of what could have taken us a step further into a really creative process and a more interesting set of characters. So it's just my thought process of what I'm thinking about when I'm playing this game. So, with all that being said, thank you for watching. If you watch this video, let me know how you think she could have been different, or if you just like her completely as is and you want to change a thing, that's fine too. I'm just talking from a hypothetical perspective. If they really had enough time and they really wanted to put characters how I know they could have, I think that's what they could have done, and that's what they should have done. So, like I said, thank you for watching. If you watch, comment something down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. like the video also. I'll catch you guys next time.